Welcome, everybody. This is Ray of RebelEars.com. Right now, we are filming live at 400 Northside Drive with my business partner, YL.
What's going on, everybody? Rebel Ears YL here. You tuned into the Rebel Ears podcast.
Yeah, so now we got a special guest with us tonight. He was actually one of our instructors when YL and I went to SAE. He is a very talented engineer, a great mixing engineer, master engineer. He has so many credits.
You know, he just worked with Rich the Kid, worked with Offset. This guy right here, like Ray said, he's one of our instructors. Very decorated engineer, also entrepreneur, multimedia company. So he does video, audio, he does it all, man. Y'all give a big welcome, big shout out to DeVon Ellis.
What up, y'all? What up, everybody? Appreciate y'all having me on the show, man. It's definitely a pleasure and an honor to be along with y'all.
Thank you for coming in today. We got a lot to talk about, especially, how you started out.
I honestly started kind of in the film game, man. My mom Dukes was always big on business. She's a numbers person, so she got her education in mathematics. So she sent me to school, SCAD, get me out of my hometown of Charleston, give me a better life, better than what was going on down there. So I just ended up going to film school. I went to SCAD in Savannah, Georgia. While I was there, I started working for, some real big name companies. I was kind of blessed. I worked for ABC Sports while I was there. I worked for Current TV. I was a Southeastern regional producer for a lot of documentaries. I linked in with my main man, Dushan Bullock. He was actually an instructor for me down at SCAD. If y'all know Dushan, he dates back to Pure Pain Records, Camouflage. He was one of their producers back in the day. But he was also on the film side, so that was real intriguing to me, to see somebody look like me, hair like me, what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, amongst this, Ivy League school of, arts, I guess, teaching me. So I linked in with bro, and he brought me out to a lot of things, the Idlewild shoot. He had me shooting with Def Jam, with Nitty, and I just really learned how to pick up that camera, man, and just started grinding. I got to a point in time I was really digging into the music. It wasn't a huge music scene down in Savannah like that, but there was a lot of people recording. So I just honestly did some SCAD illegal stuff, some school illegal stuff. I was hustling school time.
Yeah,
you feel me? Yeah. So the time I'm supposed to be in the lab working on my work, or doing practice, I was bringing people in from the seaport to come and record. So I was recording a lot of, major artists that they had down there within the city, like Mr. Measy, and, I really started getting real good in my craft and doing that. So I picked up my degree in sound design, which was a film and audio degree, but it just kind of plateaued me to be able to start digging into Pro Tools, understanding how that whole thing worked, you know what I'm saying?
So real quick, with sound design, that's your master.
Yeah, that's my master's. It was a focusing point. Like I said, my mom's was a teacher, so I really kind of got intrigued at that point in time about teaching. And I had a teaching opportunity that came up, and I know you needed that master's degree in order to teach on the university level and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Along with, still hustling out there in the streets. So I ended up getting a teaching gig while I was doing my master's. So I would be in Savannah Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday doing class. And then like 2 days out of the week, I would drive like an hour and a half, 2 hours to Charleston, me and my partner, and go teach at the Art Institute of Charleston. And on Fridays, I'll be back in Savannah packing up my stuff to head to Atlanta. Yeah. And I would come out to Atlanta and I would engineer out here or, get in the studio, try to intern, whatever, just to get it in until I finished my degree. And after that, moved to Miami and just kind of took off from there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so really the art of hustle was there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because what you just told us in a little bit of time of you going to school and you really learning the craft, you just accomplished more than some people accomplish in a whole career. In 10 years, from working with ABC and from working with different producers and end up teaching while you're going to school and at a young age.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about just like the inspiration and what just made you go hard? Was it your mentor or was it the fact that you were just so intrigued with what you wanted to do as far as film and audio?
You know what? Like, y'all family, man, I'm going to keep it 150 with y'all. To be honest with you, was getting to that paper. I'm going to be real with you.
Right.
Like, I'm not even going to flex. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to do it in a way where I was going to be comfortable with what I wanted to do every day. Like, if I can't do something, like, I can make all the money in the world. Anybody can make all the money in the world, but if they hate doing it, ain't no point in doing it.
There's no passion in it.
Yeah, ain't no passion in it. So I had a passion for the arts. I had a passion for music. I've been doing it since I was 15, to be honest with you, originally. Like, I
Yeah.
won awards for my business. My first business opened up, I was like 15. It was like 2000, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I won awards with that just on the film stuff and, like, you know, a little music here and there. But, like, it was always an inspiration to be like, all right, I got to get up out of here. I got to get my mama up out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
my brother, like, you know, he behind the walls, you know what I'm saying, on some other stuff. And, you know, I know the path that I was going, so my mom's just really kind of, I hate to sound like this, but it was realistic. She kind of, like, hustled, like, to hustle me. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, you got to
Right.
get it
It
harder.
was
but
instilled
get-
in you, yeah.
Yeah. So that really what it was. I guess it was, you know, the money was a driving factor, but getting up out of where we were at and having a better life, that was really like the prime focus of really put me in the game like that. So you got that much dedication, you're gonna spend the time doing it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So real quick, going back to your awards, because I saw that you had a business plan of the year, correct?
Yeah.
So get more in depth on that, because that's something that a lot of beginning entrepreneurs, or if you try to build your own company, that's something that you really need to focus on, like a business plan.
Yeah, man. I'm one of those people, I don't really like to depend on nobody. So if I want something like bad enough, I'ma do it. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that I wanted bad enough was be able to get funding for my business to be able to take off and do more. The more, you know, the more it takes money to make money, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I had that hustler's mentality when I was young, and like I said, I ended up writing my business plan along with my mom's. Back then, I don't know if they still got it, but they used to have this thing called Score. What Score does is, like, you can go to their website, you was able to link up with them, and it'll be retired businessmen or retired entertainment lawyers or
Yeah.
whatever else. And you're able to link up with them, and they'll help you up with your business plan or whatever, whoop de whoop. And if your idea or what you were doing was something that was profitable, that was an emerging industry, they'll really kind of work with you or link you in with their people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I ended up doing that, right? My business plan, the business plan was dope. I still use, like, you know what I'm saying, 20 years later, for real, I still use a good section of those business plans. But what it also did, going through school and having such a good, like, game plan in regards to what I wanted to do at media back in the early 2000s, late 90s, that they linked me up with this dude that owned this company called Go Films. So they were doing a lot of things around the Charleston area. Charleston has a lot of film stuff going on. It's historic. It's the Low Country.
Right.
You know, a lot of Geechee folk. You know, that's where
Definitely.
we're from. So we ended up, you know what I'm saying, getting out there, working with them. They showed a lot of stuff, you know, to me as a young age, and that just kind of drove me to, all right, I got to really get out here and get my name out there even more. So when it came down to scholarships, it came down to getting money from, like, NFIB, National Federation of Independent Businesses. Like, I was looking at those places, because if you look at any successful business, I'm not a replicator, I'm not a copier, but, like, successful businesses got the same game plan.
Yeah.
So,
Right,
like,
the same type of model.
yeah, the same type of model, same type of mind frame of getting funding, same type of mind frame in regards to, like, who's really out there, Better Business Bureau, NFIB, you know what I'm saying, all those types of organizations. So just at a young age, I really kind of just hustled that and, you know what I'm saying, use that to my advantage. But there was a purpose behind it. It wasn't just to get an award. I can get all the awards ever. Like, I don't really even talk about them.
Right.
Like, what's the purpose behind it? Is it going to get me more clientele? Is it going to be able to help me out, to help my community out a little bit more?
Is it going to be profitable?
Yeah, you know, how's it going to be profitable for me and what I'm trying to do for others?
I hear a lot of engineers talking about, like, they're not big on the accolades. Like, they don't really care about.
Yeah.
I don't know, for me, I think what would be more important than an award would be, like, being able to just open up my own studio and it's thriving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be okay with mixing whoever, recording whoever, being more stable, basically, than just having, like, an award.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what you're saying is, I mean, I think it registers with a lot of us. We rather get, like, you looking for the funding.
Yeah.
The award is a plus, but I'm coming here to get funding for my business so I can make a life and survive, you know, especially anybody out here who has families and things like that. Everything that we do has to be about surviving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's dope.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. A lot of people, well, they all gonna find out. Y'all might not know, but you used to work at Hit Factory in Miami. Tell us how you end up getting to Miami and how you end up working out of there.
Yeah, man. You know, after I finished my master's degree, I was working with a lot of people down in Savannah. And, like, I live a real life, you know what I'm saying? Like, outside of this, at that point in time, I was already kind of digging into the game just on like the label side. I became a rough rider, you know what I'm saying? So I was able to link in with, you know, the owner, Wall, you know what I'm saying? Recently they had, you know, we had, you know, the thing on BET, like, linking with Wall, TD, and the whole family. And I was kind of new to the game, so when I was working at Savannah, I was recording, I was trying to get the best product possible because I was about to ship off to Rough Riders, right? This is my mind frame, right? I'm going to get this right, I'm going to go send Wall in my work, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And everybody I was working with, they were dropping like flies, man. They were getting killed. You know what I'm saying? There was a group I was definitely trying to work with, Hella Flow, which was signed with Jeezy Group. You know what I'm saying? They was out of Savannah. Like, one of them got killed. The other one got, you know, hurt pretty bad. Right. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Ruffles, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. Had a man named Strong on, you know what I'm saying? They tried to take him out. So it was like, when I finished my master, it was like, all right, it's time to kind of sell shop from the low country area. You know what I'm saying?
Right, definitely.
So I wanted something new. My mom's that drove me down to Miami to go check out some things out there. So I had a job position at the Art Institute of Miami. So I was able to transfer from the Art Institute of Charleston to the Art Institute of Miami. So I left. I ended up moving out of Fort Lauderdale. I stayed at one of my partner's parents' crib for like 3 months. I ended up moving down in the North Miami, Opelika area, 135th and 3rd Court. And I was staying out there for a little minute. I was still trying to get my feet in the game, still trying to understand what was going on studio-wise and that type of stuff. Because honestly, at that point in time, I ain't really know.
Right.
I know Pure Pain Records and a few labels that or places I was messing with when I was going back and forth to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So I got out there, didn't know nothing, and I was honestly kind of like, to be real with you, I think that was the only period of time in my life I was like, man, I'm really kind of terrified. Like, shit's real.
Right.
I'm out here. I got a pit bull, which is not allowed in Dade County. You know what I'm saying? Statute of limitations, I understand. I got 2 pit bulls, honestly. In Miami, I'm in this little apartment. I got all my stuff out here, and, like, I don't really know nobody, trust nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I go to work. I just try to go home. Only people I'm really messing with and trusting is people I already knew in my little Rough Rider family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And eventually I broke out of that shell. When I broke out of that shell, I was working literally 4 jobs, man. I'm a hustler. I was working 4 jobs just to stay out of the streets, to be real with you. And I looked up and I was like, man, you know what? I can't do this no more. So I ended up like dropping some of my jobs down. I worked 1 job for a little bit in Boca Raton, Florida at MIG Multi-Image Group, which gave me a lot of game on like the live sound and like a lot of corporate events. So I did a lot of stuff for like Porsche and TD Bank and Deutsche Bank and, you know what I'm saying, that type of stuff, which is real good, you know, work, put on a resume, you feel me?
Of course.
Right.
But I wasn't with it. I wanted to get back into the music thing. So I eventually left the Art Institute. I was teaching at AIU, the American Intercontinental University, ended up leaving them, and I ended up linking with SAE, the School of Audio Engineering.
Yeah.
Right? So I started working there. And keeping one funky with you, like, it was dope because when I came there, I was like, man, I know this shit. And I've been grinding. I've been blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then they put me in front of some real shit, like, oh, you got to teach it. I was like, whoa. Like, I don't really know.
Right.
And, like, the fellas that was there, they already in the game. These people got, like, one of them is a hitman, like Frank. Shout out to my man, Frank Sikora. You know what I'm saying? Like, he working with Diddy and, like, got hits already. And Frank Rodriguez, another one of my partners, he got hits with Daddy Yankee, and you know what I'm saying? All these people, they working, and like where SAE Miami was right around the corner from the Hit Factory.
Right.
So I kicked out of that shit. I don't know what kicked into me. I kicked out of that shit, and I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna learn everything that these motherfuckers in here know.
Yeah, right.
So straight up, like, I had no kids at that point in time. I had no, you know what I'm saying, nothing going on but me just being able to hustle, right? And, you know, do my little fun thing in Miami. So I went in every single one of their classes. I learned every single one of their classes, every program, everything that they did. Everything. And by the time I was done, I was able to teach everything that school offered.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, I realized, like, my skills are where I was at 10 times better now. Like, I can move across this SSL. I can, you know what I'm saying, move across this Toft over here, and I can make it do what it do. I ain't gonna sound like Hans Zimmerman or nothing, but like,
right.
you know, on the level that where I'm trying to get bread at, like, I'm straight.
Right.
So a lot of clients started like digging on to me. I started getting a lot of Spanish clients. I started getting a lot of, like, you know what I'm saying, just Florida personnel. You know what I'm saying, clients rolling in. And I had clients that were flying down to me because I was at Fire. So what I used to do, and another thing is like. Shout out to that man, Scott Cleacut. I don't know.
Oh, Scott, yeah. He was there when like during orientation. What was it like?
Yeah,
the first
I think he
week?
left like maybe our first semester, maybe.
Yeah, he left in the first semester. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
just introducing himself. Like, I went to his studio. I think it was like near Marietta.
Yeah.
Yeah, his son, something.
Well, matter of fact, yeah, he was
Yeah.
like
Sun Studios.
the main
Yeah.
engineer in there.
Yeah.
I remember he was talking to us about the arc compressor.
Yeah.
That is an amazing compressor by Waves.
Definitely.
And, just, understanding his background, he had a story about DMX.
DMX.
Yeah, so
Yeah, about
Rough
X
Rider-
in the hit factory.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah. A lot of crazy stories he was telling me, but one thing that intrigued me about him was his focus and his consistency and his
Right.
how humble he is. Because when we went to his studio, he was just basically showing us how to deal with different kind of clients because of course you're gonna get different energies from every individual you work with.
Right.
So you gotta know how to control the room. So I already know you had, experience in that aspect, especially, the difference that we learned from SAE. When you get into a studio, like when you run a studio, the pressure is different.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
So you gotta learn through experience. So
Yeah.
I know you have a lot of insights because day by day it was a training to get you better. So what are some of those moments that made you, appreciate what you was doing, but also some tips that made you better at mixing? So
Research was number one, man. Honestly, finding out like if you like something, figure out how they did it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like if you like something, you should know everything about it, man. If I buy a car, I know everything about that car.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If I buy a motorcycle, I know everything about that motorcycle. So if I buy like a product or I see a product that I like in regards to music, I'm gonna figure out everything about it. Who mixed it? What did you use? Is it a YouTube video? And if I can't find it out, like I'm gonna dig until I find out how you did that. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna make my own way of doing that. So I think like really that's number one advice I can say is like research. You know what I'm saying? Research what the hell you like. If you make a music and it don't sound like the little baby song that's on the radio, then you ain't cutting. Like in my opinion, as being an engineer, like I'm the dude that don't get no credit, and I'm cool with that. Like I get the credit of doing it when I put it out because I'm trying to get clientele for real. But I'm the dude that's not looking for a pat on my back, but like, oh boy, that thing sound mixed crazy. Like that master sound crazy. No, I'm trying to give you a product where it's like the song sounds great. This is a collaborative thing, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, we don't really get the tap on the back. People are more interested in the 808, the bass, and you know,
basics.
Yeah, like the lyrics, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like you watch your favorite television, so 95% of people are not looking at their television show and be like, oh man, the cinematography in that's crazy.
Right.
They just like, oh, this is a great movie, or this is a great television show.
Exactly.
So you know what I'm saying? That was one thing I had to realize. Like I got to get my product on the level of what's already out there, which is hard for us too because that changes.
Right.
Last 5 years ago, like music don't sound the same as it sound right now.
Yeah, it
You know what I'm
changes.
saying? Everything changes.
Technology.
Yeah, technology changes everything. So research, you know what I'm saying? That's my biggest thing. Invest into yourself. That's another big thing.
Yes.
Man, listen, you're an audio engineer, man. You ain't got a Mac, you ain't got an Apollo. Like you're not an audio engineer. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a carpenter and not have a hammer.
That's true.
The best thing I ever did that I invested in personally was buying the plugins at the studio that I always work at. Most studios I gotta buy that plugin.
Yeah.
I gotta buy that bundle. I gotta get it however I can get it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get to recording at different studios and working out of different places and different spaces, even if you don't have that perfect home studio, if you got that laptop, that Apollo, and even some headphones sometimes, if you don't need nothing else, you're gonna need them plugins, man.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
what I learned, personally.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially when it comes to the plugins, even if you're working in the studio, working with Steve Fabicki, like he was my mentor, so he's sending me a lot of sessions. So there was a lot of different plugins I had to purchase myself just to open it up. Some were by UA, Waves, Isotope. And I remember one of the songs, Gucci on My, that Mike Will made it produce with 21 Savage, YG, and Migos.
Right.
It was funny, there was a version that Ray Shrimmer did. He sent me that session too, but they was doing the song arrangement. So I learned, the in-depths of actually creating a project.
Yeah.
And then, specific plugins you need that's necessary.
Yeah. Like, I'm still an instructor to this day. I'm a program chair at AIU, so I still teach classes here and there. And like one thing I always tell my students is like build your tool set.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
you're an engineer, you really got to build your tool set. You got to figure out what's good for you and what you specifically are going to need for whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Your tool set as a producer might be totally different as me as a mastering engineer. You know what I'm saying?
Right, definitely.
But always be prepared for anything. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this game, I'm not going to turn down a mixing job. Even though I'm really a mastering engineer, I'm not going to turn down that mixing job. So I got to have the tools to mix too.
Exactly.
So it's important.
So you have multiple sources of income at a young age.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's very big, especially if you want to be, being successful. That's one thing, but also finding ways to actually use it to your advantage. That you don't really have to depend on one when you have different opportunities, different options you can make.
Yeah.
But it's all on you. And that's the big thing, having that mindset, focus on, you know what, I don't want to live average. I got to do what I can to make sure my future is successful, but also, you're learning every day.
Right.
Yeah, it's different when you, especially as a teacher, day by day, you learning from what you study, but also from your students too.
Yeah, definitely. I feel I feel that really what defines a good teacher from like a bad teacher.
Exactly.
A bad teacher, you know what I'm saying? Somebody preaching at you and just giving you information and expecting you to contain that and not regurgitate nothing to let them learn.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I always pride myself. I have a great reputation on all my students. Like
Yeah,
I always
for
pride
sure.
myself on that, for real. Just for the simple fact, like there's so much knowledge out there in people. I'm not the only person I can only spit my information.
Right.
Yeah.
I talk to people every day and learn some new shit and be like, whoa, like, and totally change my mind or something. You know what I'm saying? So just having a teacher mind frame and an educator's mind frame and doing that is really, really helpful, especially at a young age when I was able to soak it up. I'm getting old and bitter now, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, on Joseph's side, like for real, like at a younger age, when you really still grabbing for that information, like I'm trying to soak it in to get to, you know what I'm saying, where I'm gonna be comfortable at, man. That's the best thing in the world, man, is to converse with your students and let them, you know what I'm saying, teach you.
Exactly. With me, I'm thankful to have a teacher like you. We learn from SAE, like who is focused on, of course, making sure that students take the next step by information. Like when you told me about scores, I remember I listened to a few of their live webinars, went through a few seminars myself. So it's very beneficial, especially with the LLC information. But one thing I did focus on was making sure to always stay focused on learning something new. Like with me,
definitely.
one thing I started getting a lot of people into, like audiobooks or podcasts, like listening to different insights from people when it comes to whatever you want to listen to. So with me, I try my best to do 5 audiobooks a week.
Word.
Yeah. But dealing with like leadership, financial literacy, some manuals I read like the Apollo. I was getting more information on like the SSL board at Tree Sound Studios when I was up there too. So I was always trying to be in depth on something that can help me to better myself. Especially as an engineer, there's plugins coming out every other week. Actually, every week, honestly, if you think about all these like low company kind of plugins. But yeah, even Cymatics.
Cymatics, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, Cymatic is a sample pack company. They got like a total of over 1 million followers. And they basically got into making packs. But the thing that I learned about from them, networking with other people who are very knowledgeable, they have their own music event. Like I met a lot of individuals there that actually have their own company just like you.
Right.
And a lot of people was talking about creating their own LLC, the business aspect. So I was learning from there. So when it comes to your company, Gravity One Media,
Yes.
I want to understand exactly when you started that company, did you have people involved with you?
Yeah, that was unique. So I had DEG Media Group, right? And I ran DEG Media Group from like 2001 to, I mean, it's still currently open, but like I ran it probably till I got, and I think in like 2013, I got with my partners. That was one good thing about school. I linked in with a real dope group of individuals, and that I knew I could trust with everything. And I was telling them like, man, we gotta get businesses together. Like I've been hunting my business for years. Like we don't ran business in Savannah. Like I used to be a club promoter too in Savannah.
Did it all.
I used to be a club promoter and a DJ, man. I used to go by the name DJ Magnum in Savannah. I swear for God. And I was telling all my partners that was involved with that, I was like, man, we all got skills in this art stuff. let's capitalize the game.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got the sound stuff on lock, and one of my other partners has some sound stuff on lock. Got the film stuff on lock, motion graphics, all this other stuff, right? So they were all last like, man, they were with it. Nothing I ever said, they never said no to. They were 100% with it. But I think everybody was at the point in time was like, man, we either still in college or we fresh out of college. We trying to figure it out too. So like, put it together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you got that. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing I did was get the paperwork and everything together. And I was living in Florida at that time. I got the paperwork together, got on sunbiz.org, decided to register in the business, got the bread together, got the funding, the capital, all that other stuff that you need for a business to run, right?
Yeah.
And then I looked at it and I was like, man, what am I going to name this? And I was like, you know what? This is really based around all my partners and my family. Everybody got a skill that could really contribute to this company. So I really got to, you know what I'm saying, bring this together. And that's where the gravity came from, like, you know, marinating together, you know what I'm saying, bringing it down. And then I was like, but you know what I'm saying, like, this is a lot of work, though. There's one of me doing this right now. So gravity, one. All right? So that's how I ended up with the company, man. And it worked out. The logo ended up real good, was displayed, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
What I do, which is A and V, the audio and video, and then it kind of swoops down into the gravity thing.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of formed the company together. And what it was originally, it was one of those things, like, all of us lived in central hubs in the United States. So we had somebody in Cali, we had somebody in Houston, we had somebody in Miami, somebody in New York, somebody in Atlanta, at all given points in time.
Right.
So if I got a job and it was a motion graphics job, we're going to run this through the company, you know what I'm saying, what's your rate? And then, you know what I'm saying, the company would be able to take funds and, you know, save those funds, stack up capital, blase, whoop-de-whoop, and that person didn't get paid their rate. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that way, nobody, I believe, like, if you work, you got to work for your rate, like, period at the end. If you mad the whole time you working on something because you know you ain't getting paid, it ain't going to come out right. It ain't going to come out with love. You feel me? So that's how me and my team kind of worked it out. And after a while, I looked up and I was like, man, you know, like, we really booming on a lot of good stuff, but really trying to concentrate on that film stuff, and then the music stuff just took off. You know what I'm saying?
So, kind of give us more of an outlook on how your film career has gone. We've been talking about audio the whole time.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that film and audio is hand in hand. You will not watch a movie without sound, and you will not listen to nothing that don't. I mean, well, you will listen to something that don't have a picture, but you'll want the video to come with it.
Right.
Your video is probably gonna get more streams than your audio a lot of the time.
Definitely.
So.
Definitely.
Tell us a little bit about what you offer and you know, just different nodes that you were able to complete.
Yeah, for sure. Man.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
My film career, like I said, I started off as a camera operator for ABC Sports, and I eventually moved into the audio department, but doing like broadcast work. And I was union. I was like 19. I was guapping, and like just picked up that camera and started working. I started doing a lot of freelance stuff. I did a couple of narratives. You know what I'm saying? Shot a couple of narratives for sure. I got big into music videos, especially after I kind of got exposed with DeVon. So I know we did some music videos with Nitty, and you know, I did some music videos with him. He was a rapper also, so he had tracks with Boosie and, you know what I'm saying, flawed stuff. And I just started linking on that. And then when I went to Miami, honestly, the concentration more or less was on audio because I just finished my master's degree. But I ended up buying some camera gear out there and ended up getting on a couple of films out there. Flew out to LA a couple of times, did a Resident Evil joint. You know, ended up getting my little IMDb credits, which was dope, you know what I'm saying? And then I knew so much. I did 4 years of film in school, and that was really my hustle.
That's what,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
what you did.
Like, yeah, that was really my hustle. Like, I really kind of became a real good audio engineer on a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Because I was the audio engineer that knew how to work a SSL.
Right.
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
So that it really kind of like, which is a totally different story, but that's really kind of how it happened. So on the film side, we were just like, you know what? Like, we can really do anything. So at that point in time, you build from where you at and kind of get your practice up, and especially if you're playing with somebody's money. So we started off doing a lot of weddings and, event type stuff. That way, you got a lot of footage, you got a lot of B-roll, you can cut it together, et cetera, et cetera. And then, I started broadcasting out a little bit more in regards to other services that I know my team had. And our productions look great just because, like, I had my partner Cam. He did motion graphics and, like, like a lot of great motion graphic work out there in the world. You know what I'm saying? And my brother Mondo, he works for ESPN. He's the one that does the graphics for ESPN. He was with CNN and Disney, like all these other places. So we just kind of combined all of our work together. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got paid or whatever else. Or if we were doing a free job, then everybody just put it in. That way we had that dope looking work. So by the time we looked up, like services wise, we were doing cinematography, animation, 2D and 3D, Cinema 4D, Maya, motion graphic work, audio work, sound work, everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and real quick, the reason why I asked you about that, it just goes back to what Ray was talking about having multiple streams of income. A lot of people don't understand how much of the same industry ties into each other.
Right.
And versus working, two jobs that don't have anything to do with your industry. You can find a lot of different ways to make multiple stream incomes in your industry, doing different things, and it'll open your eyes up to a lot. Because I know me and Ray both, at SAE, we ended up doing events. Never would have ever probably thought we'll be doing events and doing sound for events and setting up different concerts and different things like that. But just by being so intrigued with audio, now we know how to do video when it comes to live and corporate events, when it comes to live sound and different things like that.
Right.
Not just on the music tip, even things like podcasts and things like that. We were able to find other things that were in our genre of what we wanted to do. And then next thing you know, that this is all you do. You don't have to worry about making multiple streams of income from elsewhere. That's why I asked that question, though, by the way.
Definitely. No, that's a great point, man. You find something that you love, man, stick with it, especially if it's taking care of you and your family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Because with Lee and I, it started with SAE, but then we started going to, like, we interned at the same studio at Castle Hill Studios.
Right.
We started working at Crew One.
Right.
We worked at different AV companies together. He was doing, like, the events of it, doing the decoration. And we always had that focus of learning as much as we can. It's only a matter of time till Lee and I go into film. It's only a matter of time, especially the many stages we built, the many times we were A1s, L1s, A2s, L2s.
Yeah.
Like working front of house. It's amazing how you can create something from the foundation and see the ending results.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, listen, I'm gonna give y'all a tip. How I really like here in Atlanta specifically.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing films for a long time because that's what my degree is in, right? Both of them technically like an audio degree and a film degree, right? Based around film. When I came down to Atlanta, what I found was it was especially in the African American community.
Yeah.
We got so many films coming out. Like, if you pay attention to that, like, that real film, like, industry or what's coming out of Atlanta, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of companies that really pushing out that work. So I found a company, linked up with somebody. I can't even tell you how I linked up with them. But, like, what I used to do is I used to tell them, like, if your movie, hour and a half, I'll charge you 2 bands. And that's low. That's a low. That's a low rate. Yeah, that's a low rate for a 2-hour movie.
People want $500 for a 3-minute music video.
Yeah, for sure. For sure they do.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would take that, but I would give them the disclosure like, hey, listen, I'm going to try my best on this. So depending on what you give me and what you're going to get back, you're going to get a better quality.
Exactly.
But like, I'm really doing this so I can get my skills up. Like, this is what I've done previously, but, this is the way it go. And I'll get my bread up front. Whoop. All right? And I'll work on that stuff. And thank God, all right, most of my projects, I had one project that went back. All right, I don't cap. You know what I'm saying? I had one project that went back. Like, man, this ain't the move. But, like, most of my projects ended up real good. And what that did is that gave me an opportunity at building my tool set because I knew I needed a tool set. So at that point in time, I was able to get RX and the dialogue denoiser and that type of stuff, like to really kind of clean up on that post side and have it on my personal.
Right.
So that really gave me a time to kind of build. So next time it went from that 2 bands to like, nah, we going back up to that industry rate. Now I got some work under me that look good. I can show you some stuff. You can go look it up, blase, blase, whoop. Now you can also see, you know what I'm saying, why is that this particular cost. Right. So you got to first put this into the budget or find somebody else with. So if you're looking, and that happens a lot. You know what I'm saying? I know I turn down jobs that can't afford for the time I'm going to put in that movie take a real, real, real long time to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, and directors want it quick. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So you got to, bring that time back in. So those jobs fall off of, somebody like me that's been doing it for 15 years. And like they be looking for the people that's going to do it for 2 bands, 3 bands, you know what I'm saying? Which is okay, especially if you're coming up. Right. It's really about establishing your name. I think that's everything, man. Yep. I no offense to anybody and like there's no cap, but I'm pretty sure there's great people out there based off of their name. You know what I'm saying? I always heard this thing is like, 9 times out of 10 you get hired at a job, not for the simple fact of what you can do, but just the simple fact that like who you are and they can work with you. Yeah. They can rock with you, you know what I'm saying? Yep. Like what you can do is an added plus. Like that's kind of just like the necessity. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just there. But like that camaraderie and like networking and just getting those plugs is really everything for real.
Definitely, man.
When it came to your business, like what you're doing now and working with different individuals at the time being, how is it working on your personal to an extent? Because I know when I used to be a studio rat at Castle Hill Studio, be working like an 8-hour session, intern for like, 6 hours, 3 hours at times? It depends.
10, 12, I'm telling you.
And time be going by so quick with your business. How do you have time to like balance it out with just your personal?
Man, I think your personal is just as important as business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I work a normal job and run a company. I got a little boy. I got a family. Yeah. It's just 24 hours in a day. That's a lot of time. Yes. If you really, really sit there and calculate that out, that's a lot of time. Like, I feel like at the point in time where I'm hustling and really, really getting out there, my time was very structured. I know I need 8 hours of sleep in order to be able to function and do my job right. Mm-hmm. I know it's going to take me this long, you know what I'm saying, to eat and drive and blah, blah, blah. Like, I was very structured in that way. I just didn't waste no time. There was no time for lollygagging with me. Yeah. Right. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you grow into that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's something that you earn. That's not something that you just should be given, to anybody. And I really still kind of got that mind frame. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of focus on really what's important. So my personal life is real important. You know what I'm saying? Being around my family, my loved ones, you know what I'm saying? My right hand, like my low man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have my own personal time. That's real, man. You know, people really, 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 really be going through mental health issues. You know what I'm saying? African American, like white, black, whoever, you know what I'm saying? It's not, you know what I'm saying, anything that's biased to anybody. So I figure a lot of times, especially as an engineer, where our grievance come in, we be working so much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yep. And I just got to the point of time of knowing how to, like, one thing I learned was monopolizing. Learn how to monopolize myself. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to keep a clutch on this right here in order for me to be able to do everything else that I need to do. So my personal time, man, like, I don't have no problem with that. Like, even when I was a young instructor, y'all ain't never seen me come in there tired, stressed. Yeah. Like, I'm not.
You look like you be at peace.
I be at peace, 150%. I love what I do. So if I got to spend 12 hours on something, then cool. If I got to sacrifice a job just to know I got to go take my little boy and go play on the playground, pre-COVID. You know what I'm saying? Pre-COVID. Then that's what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like everything about sacrificing, I don't mind saying no. That's something I had to learn too. I don't mind saying no. I think people respect you a lot more when you say no. And like I don't get no excuses like, nah, that's my time with my little man. Mm-hmm. Or nah, that's my time to go kick with my shorty. Or that's my time to go, you know what I'm saying?
Or nah, that's not enough.
Yeah, you gotta have that balance.
It's different. Just different no's and take you a long way.
Yeah, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't selfish, but it is like, came here by yourself, you leave here by yourself, but a personal time is everything, man. I hustle for my last name, not my first. You feel me? Dang, Dad said that. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
So, that personal time, everything. For real.
Yeah, exactly. So when it comes to the business, like when you're mixing, because we talked about the film. Do you have your own template or presets you go to when you're doing a session?
Well, here's the secret, right? If I'm mixing a session, no, I started from scratch. I talk with the artists. I try to figure out what they're going for. And a lot of my artists, I'm able to reference their songs because they got music out already. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah.
So I try to figure that out, or I try to figure out a lot of times I don't have access to the artist. I'm keeping 100. Like, song just gets sent to me, get it done. That's how the label do. You know what I'm saying? That's how the labels do. So, like, send me the song, you just get to it, right? Like, we heard your work, like, blah, blah, blah. So for me, a lot of times that's hard. It's like, shit, you heard what work? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know, and this song over here sounds different from this one over here. But all right. So what I'll try to do is I'll go and study the artist. Like I said, do your research, study.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, I got a breakdown in time, bro. Like, the way I be looking at it, like, I know what I like to get paid hourly. And if, just figuratively speaking, if I like to get paid $100 an hour and I know this job is only paying me $400, I'm not going over 4 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure out how to do it within that time. And I think that was
Get it done.
Yeah, I got to get it done.
Yeah, you got to be efficient in that. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I got to go over that, like, I can't blame them. I got to blame myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if I got to go over that, then I didn't calculate the time right or the cost right or didn't say no.
Right.
So now I got to eat that, and I'm going to be happy about doing that because I'm a man about mine. So, you know, that really kind of focuses me on my time factor with being an engineer and being a mastering engineer. But, like, the templates, to be honest with you, not on the mixing tip. I like to start from scratch because everybody sound different. You know what I'm saying? So I try to find, like, if I can't get to the artist, I try to find their hardest song. Or if I can't get to the artist, I want a reference from that particular artist. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody that they trying to sound like, somebody else.
Right.
On the mastering tip, that's a little bit easier for me. There's certain things I template out, like my limiting. Like, I kind of template that out depending on what I'm working on. Like, I still do a lot of like reggaeton and like, you know, soca music, you know, from my people in Miami, my crew in Miami, and my crew out in Cali. They send me a lot of that type of work. Yeah, so I got to kind of, you know, a template for certain things with them. And then I got a huge like thing of Atlanta music that's coming in. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, got this particular sound for my Atlanta clientele. You know what I'm saying? So, certain things I can template in regards to a master, but everything has its own individual touch because everything sounds different. None of my music ever sounded like.
Okay.
Ever. They might be at the same level or whatever else, but there's certain things I got to pull out of people's music, you know what I'm saying? Or highlight it, you know what I'm saying? I do it to my liking because I want to like your music. So, you know what I'm saying? I sample it around, you know what I'm saying? And like, you can't play your music for nobody else. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to send it back to the label, but generally, I'm able to nail it just for the simple fact, like, I'm doing it so I like it.
So you like it?
Yeah, if I like it and with a good trained ear, like, if I like it, then it should be able to rock. It should be able to rock.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, speaking on mixing and mastering, in this portion of the podcast, give us a few of your favorite plugins or the most efficient plugins for certain things. Just kind of like on a broad level. It really don't have to be your sauce. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but just a few plugins for beginner engineers, mid-level, even high-level engineers, producers. Just things that they should definitely have and why they should have it.
For sure, get a Waves bundle. Well, you know what? Let me start this here. I'll say this.
Yeah.
Learn the plugins in Pro Tools first.
The stock plugins.
Stock plugins.
Exactly.
Like, learn them, get them down.
I still use them.
Like, to this day.
Sometimes.
I do, straight up. To this day. That Dynamic 3 compressor I still use to this day. For real.
Yep. That and 7-band EQ.
The 7-band EQ, yes, sir.
Steve got me on the 7-band EQ.
Man, I love it.
Yes.
Learn those stock ones. And I always tell people to learn the stock ones because no matter what studio you're going around to, you know they going to be there.
They'll be there.
Like, if you working in Pro Tools, they are going to be there.
Definitely.
All right? Then after you do that, I would tell people to look into the Waves bundle, man. And in my honest opinion, going over the gold or platinum bundle is really not a necessity unless you're buying packs. One thing I do love in a packs is the SSL collection.
Oh, the SSL?
Yeah. I'm a huge SSL person. My favorite board is the SSL 4000.
Likewise, for sure.
That bus compressor is great, you know what I'm saying?
The G compressor?
Yeah, it's a monster. it's a monster. You know what I'm saying? Like I love that compressor. I tell people to go there. Honestly, after that, I would have to give it up to Universal Audio. I think Universal Audio
They got the
is my
best
top.
plugins in the world.
Yeah, they got the best plugins in the world to me right now.
Expensive as
Plugins are more
hell.
pristine. Like you can literally, Castle Hill Studio has a Manly Verimute.
Yeah.
And I actually got the Manly Verimute plugin on the Apollo and changes the character of the track itself.
Yeah.
It's like how they glued it. Yeah. Like, the
UAD
G compressor
top of the
and the
line.
Manly Verimute. Yeah.
Like it's a different type of. That's that sound that people be looking for.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
If you know
Like,
what you're doing, yeah.
Yeah, I got all of them. I got every single Universal Audio plugin.
Really?
Every single one.
Yeah.
I got every
Mode.
Waves plugin. I got
Invest
every
in yourself. You
Like,
hear me?
invest in yourself. Like,
Hey man, them plugins are not cheap.
Nah,
man.
they
No,
ain't.
they're
You
not.
know
You
what
get
I'm
the
saying?
chance to just buy one a month, one every 2 months. UAD top of the line.
What
man.
is- I think the Need 1073 is like $400.
$400. You're gonna spend about 15 bands to get
I'm
everything.
about to say about 400. I was just looking at them.
Yeah, you're gonna spend about 15 bands to get everything. You know what I'm saying?
But it's much worth it, especially if you have a home studio. Because I got a satellite with mine, so I have more like
more push power.
yeah, exactly. Especially when I'm using the vocal chain that I have already on the Apollo, and then when I'm mastering it, also have the mastering plugins in there. I might be using some of the EQ compressors straight from the Apollo at times, just to get like a very different kind of feel with the product that I have.
Right.
I use some outboard gears too when necessary, but like working out the Apollo really changed my workflow.
Yeah. That's everything for me right now, man. I work, especially after COVID. Like I've been good about working in my own studio, and I've been banging them out. Like you know what I'm saying, in my own personal studio. My whole studio is tuned based off of my Universal Audio plugin. My speakers are tuned based off of that. Like I'm flat in my room because I got what I'm saying, bass traps and
panels,
panels, and what I'm saying, my room is built and everything. So, but like everything, what I'm saying, it runs through that Universal Audio. Like that's the first thing I go to be honest with you nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And Universal Audio it was so good. The plugins were so good they would recreate plugins that was in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Like analog gear. But the problem was like when they put them out, they were as good or a little bit better than the old analog gear that was in there. So like they kind of messed the studio game up a little bit. For real. You know what I'm saying?
Especially like there's a lot of mixing engineers who use in the box. Andrew Sheps, he talked about he do a lot of in the box. I like to study like those top engineers in the game, like Dave Pensado, Jason Joshua, Steve Fabicki,
man.
Tony Maserati,
Phil Tan, Leslie. Can't forget Leslie.
Oh, Leslie. Actually, I met Leslie and Phil Tan at SAE.
SAE, we had them down there.
Phil Tan said the funniest thing to me because I asked him when he's using the EQ and compressor, what are some go-to techniques that he could like tell me? He described it as, well, you gotta think of it as like, try to think like peanut butter, like a sandwich is how you combine it. I was like, okay, that was deep because Bill was telling me he was more insightful from like the lessons he learned, especially his background. And it made sense because with EQ and compression, it's the levels that your ears are accustomed to. Just like what Leslie said, like some people ask him his range and he tell them basically it's what my ears perceive. What sounds good to me, I go there. There's no specific range. You really gotta trust yourself and trust your ears.
Yeah. You definitely gotta keep like your own head is gonna be your best tool. You know what I'm saying? Like your own ears are definitely your best tool. I agree with that.
Especially mastering.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Your ears gotta be right.
Man, that's a whole nother level. Just for the people who really don't understand the difference between mixing and mastering, kind of give them a synopsis basically on what mastering really is. Cause you gotta, I don't knock nobody hustle, and I understand that the best way to learn is to experience.
Right.
Yes.
So you don't want to turn down experience. If you got an opportunity to experience it, whether you know what you're doing or not, just kind of let them know, like, break down mastering for a lot of listeners that might not know that it's a huge difference.
All right. So I'm going to make that brief, but I'm going to make it like we're going to go a little deep, right? So when it comes down to mastering, right, what that is really the finalization of the song. You know what I'm saying? It's two parts to it. One part is getting the data in the song so the song can be traced and get paid from your song. like the artist name comes up, you know what I'm saying, and all the information that needs to be put on the song is put on the song.
Right.
Everybody can get their credits, whatever. Then you got the audible section of mastering, and that's really getting the song ready for any and everything. Like making sure it's gonna sound good in studios, gonna sound good in people's cars, specifically people's cars, because that's most of the time when people listening to music. It sound good on them Apple earbuds, it sound good on headphones, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So making it sound good for multiple platforms and mediums. But like to get deep into it is really kind of like playing with human sensory. Be real with you. Hearing music, everything is a sensory. Just like taste, touch, sight, all that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, certain things we don't like to taste, certain shit we don't like to smell, certain things we don't like to see, and certain things we don't like to hear. So when you're doing a mix, you're putting it together, you're making it sound good, you know what I'm saying? So our job is to really get in there, in my opinion, is to find the things that don't necessarily sound good that's still in that track.
Right.
And control them or take them out or level it out. So it's a lot of EQing, there's a lot of compressing. I have the complete track at that point in time, or a lot of times I'll master for like my high-end clients that pay a little bit more. I'm mastering their vocals different from the beat or the stems of the beat. You know what I'm saying? So there might be like 5 or 6 masters going on depending on how many stems is in that song. But it's really just messing with sensories and making sure that like frequencies are not conflicting and that type of stuff, because there's certain things human beings just don't like to hear.
Right.
So to really study that, to understand the psychological of a human and then make it into music or clean somebody's music up is really where it's at. So I always tell, like, I'm going to be the one to tell you I ain't selling myself for anything. If you're an artist, you're a label, you whoever, you feel me, and you're not getting your music masters, like, you really ain't doing nothing, to be honest with you, because that's a standard. That's one of those things that, like, is really a non-negotiable. If you're looking for somebody to really pick on to your song, then that's what it is. And what ends up happening a lot of times, when folks put out music, it be just them, like, in the crib doing it, you know what I'm saying, fun, put it out, it get picked up. Yeah. Somebody picks it up, and they slide you that check. It'd be like, oh, yeah, we got to redo this whole song, right. And now you don't lost credits on your song. Because you want to get that check where you could have had a lot more and able to call a lot more shots because you're doing your own music properly. Exactly. Or you're paying for your music to be done properly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're getting towards the end of the show now. Any upcoming projects, recent projects that you want everybody to go check out? This is the time to, just pretty much toot your horn. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And promote your business and promote your work and let everybody know where they can find you also and what you got going on.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate y'all joining with me today.
Thank you for coming.
Definitely. On Facebook, Gravity One Media Group. Instagram at Fully the Mixer, FULLYTHEMIXER. Definitely got an artist under the company. Her name's Candy Brown.
Candy Brown.
Yeah.
Shout out Candy Brown.
Shout out to Candy Brown. She's doing her thing. She's ripping and running right now. Definitely doing her thing. Got 2 singles out. Get That Stash. You know what I'm saying? It's the latest single that we got out. Definitely bangers. Upcoming projects, man. I've been having a lot of work came in within the last month. I know, I've had a Rich the Kid and Broke as Fuck. Flute track, that's out. Go peep that. G Herbo, YPC Nige. I've been doing work with Young and Ace. So I definitely got some, I got about 6 Young and Ace tracks. His newest single just came out. So that's one of mine. Go check out my IG. OMP Peasy. I just did a Peasy track.
Oh, yeah.
Like, literally before I came here. I finished it before I came here and shipped that thing off. So man. I just did a Peasy track before I came here a couple of hours ago. So, I mean, definitely a lot more work coming in, man. Just did a whole album for my partner, Don Jones. Crazy album, Takeoff Deluxe, you know what I'm saying? Deluxe version. Definitely go peep that album. Did all the mastering on that. Got some good features on there. Willie Hines on there, you know what I'm saying? So,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely shout out to that boy Flames P. He's on there, man. Like, definitely good grip of artists I've been working with. I mean, that's the last month. Like, for real, like, no cap.
Yeah, for sure. Again, we'd like to thank you for coming.
Appreciate it.
It was a great opportunity for us. We go way back. It's history right here in this room.
Yeah.
This man motivated us to really become who we are. And, soon we'll be multimedia geniuses as well. Thank you again for coming, man. We really appreciate it.
Yes,
everybody, y'all go follow him at Fully the Mixer. Fully the Mixer on IG, man. Y'all make sure y'all go check out his page. Y'all hear what the man doing. He really working. He doing it himself, and this is a good model for you to model your career after, man. This is what he do for a living in multiple ways, not working for anybody else, man.
Yeah. And YL and I want to say thank you again for coming out today because,
Appreciate it.
like, you inspired us to get where we are today, and we still got a lot of work to put in. There's a lot more that's going to be done in the near future. So again, thank you for coming out, and we just want to thank everybody who's listening to the podcast right now, visiting the website at rebelears.com, and we also want to thank the Building 400 at Northside Drive for actually allowing us to use their location for the podcast right now. So just want to thank everybody who's listening, and keep tuning in.